recently I uploaded a video where we saw this player here, player in the red, and we're going to start the game. Go for missionaries and convert all my buildings. And he had this unique little play. It looks like he's actually not at the PC. He had his unique little play where he made the monasteries behind the TC and surprised me. If you didn't see that, I don't remember. I don't know right now what the exact title is going to be for that. But make sure to just... There's going to be a pop-up on screen. Check the description. You can see it. It's really short, okay? And what I said was, I've seen more of these guys' games, and I have a feeling that he's going to be a very interesting player to watch. And he has his own little meta, okay? So here he's Saracens. The Saracens are known for the cheap market, the great market rates, and usually archer play. And last time when he was up against me, and I showed you guys the game, he went for the double mining camp on gold. He went for the early tower. He went for mill as part of his little house wall on this map. And then he went for the double stone gate. So there's enough consistency on this map where he's going to try the exact same thing here. Now, he wasn't here for the first 40 seconds. Kind of funny, because if you watch the cast that I showed you, I had to pause because I had to go to the bathroom. He wasn't happy about that. So maybe he just doesn't pause. I don't know what was going on there, buddy. But yeah, so on the other side, we've got Umbergeese. And at quick glance, it looked like Umbergeese is the higher elo player. Again, this is Empire Wars, so they're in Feudal Age. And the Cumans can build the second TC in Feudal Age. So the second TC is already up for blue. I did fast forward a bit in my game versus red, as even though he surprised me, it wasn't the most competitive game. It was just kind of a funny watch. This one is much more competitive, guys, so get excited. And it seems like every time red plays Age of Empires 2 right now, it is always on and closed. It is always Empire Wars. Let's look at this from blue's perspective. Blue hasn't found the opponent yet. From red's perspective, red has found the opponent. And I don't really know if red is playing random civ, but it does feel like from the list of games that I'm seeing that it's almost always random civ. So I can tell you in my case, I had selected Berbers when we had played in case someone disabled random. So maybe he just like force picks and picks different civs and tests different things. Look at this. So he's waltzed through blue's base. He didn't actually... Ooh, it's kind of tough with capture. It's possible he did spot it, though. Man, let's assume he spotted the second TC. Knows his opponent isn't going to make army. So, little AFK at the start here for red. And let's see what this guy can do. I don't know what I'm supposed to say beyond red. I actually changed their colors. If you're wondering why there's a little 2 and 1 there, it's just because in this particular game, red was actually blue and blue was actually red. But I just wanted some consistency. I got to call him something. So, red, if you ever see these videos, please just pick red all the time. Thank you. So, you know, the concern when you're playing as the Sicilians, I'm so sorry, the Cumans, is that they're going to be aggressive against you. And at a high level, what's typically the most common is something like Knight Siege. Making knights with the Saracens always feels a little bit questionable, because they don't get Cavalier, so in the long term, they don't really have good knights. And you can see that red is on stone right now, guys. Yeah, that's right, on stone. Okay. Now, again, at a high level, what a lot of players do is they're just using the market all the time with Saracens. They'd be selling the stone, buying food, and just going crazy. But we're not seeing any of the stone being sold right now. In fact, I almost don't believe Capture Age is working properly because I have market buy and sell events on. 0 market usage here from red, actually. Do have the farm upgrade. We're going to get up to 5 farms here, it looks like. Good stuff. More villagers headed over to stone. And then from blue's perspective, I mean, life is going pretty good right now because you haven't received any pressure. Blue's had a pretty good build here. Hasn't scouted the enemy, though. This is pretty cool, right? But, I mean, if you can execute even half decently with the humans, you are going to get a pretty massive villager lead. Which, again, typically puts the other player in a position where they need to be killing your villagers and pressing your town centers quickly. Or they need to be, since they're in Castle Age, they can build as many TCs as they want. They need to get to a second and maybe a third TC. Now, blue doesn't really know what red's going for right now. We do have infantry armor for that one spearman there. I think blue's kind of thinking, I don't know what's coming, so I'm just going to make a little bit of everything. And you have the economy, right? You have 54 villagers. And then why not just spend all this extra wood that you have? Scouting, obviously, is going to be key. So here comes blue. And blue sees pretty much what I saw when I had initially scouted red's base in my game. I just saw the double gate, the mill wall, and the tower. Pretty wild, right? Castle's up. And guys, red is starting to make Mamelukes. Let's go. Are you pumped? Here's the thing. The Mameluke is one of my favorite unique units. We just never see this freaking thing. Because of how good the Saracen market is and the fact that their archers destroy buildings so quickly. Typically, high-level Age of Empires is all market crossbows. And then, you know, and this is a good thing for the Saracens. I'm not advocating that this be changed. But their camels, their camels out of their stables, obviously much easier to get to. Also just have more HP. So there's just a lot of reasons why we don't see the Mameluke as frequently. But it is a ranged melee unit. And they throw these little, I don't know, they're not axes. They're machetes, basically. There might actually be a more accurate term. I'm sure you guys will help me out on YouTube. Graphics on? Yeah, graphics are good. I want to make sure my Mamelukes look pretty. Yeah, look at them go. Anyways, they're good against stable units. So at the moment, blue, who's got a pretty massive eco lead. Look at the resources collected here. I mean, it's not close at all. Blue's going to make knights. And the stables and the archery ranges are all very cheap for the human, so he's been able to make a lot. And blue just says, well, I don't really know what my opponent's doing, so let's just add more economy. This is a boom game. So, and to be fair to blue, you've got bloodlines in on the knights for extra HP. You have the first armor, the first attack. I mean, these are good upgrades to have. But let's see how this goes. Red going in here with the 3 range Mamelukes. Sees the town center, is just passing. Sees the knights and they get excited. Now they've got 8 attack, which is not that great. I believe there is some bonus damage involved here. And so, you know, with only 3 range, the knights have kind of just run away for now. Red did just research husbandry, and red's on the hunt, and blue's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to let you kill me, because dying is not fun. But he forgot about that knight, and yeah, whew, okay. So, Mamelukes are pretty good. They're only 75 HP without bloodlines. So they will die quite quickly. And we also don't see any armor in for red. So if red's not paying attention, if red's doing this, for example, this wowed me. I was like, what, a second TC? Because I've seen a few games from red. It could be a problem. But, I mean, the second TC has come up in a few of these games, to be fair. Again, really curious, guys. And maybe hold on to your thoughts until the conclusion of this one. Really curious on your opinions here, because I know it's Empire Wars. I know it's a little bit different. I want to hear what you think about this player. The 2 games that you're going to have seen from this guy in this week, with missionaries converting buildings, surprise missionaries at that, and now we have Mamelukes in a castle drop. Now, blue sees this. Red, unfortunately, must have been looking at something else. The Mamelukes are still tasked onto that range. This is a big mistake. Those Mamelukes could have been competitive against the knights. And red is probably groaning right now. Like, oh, no, what have I done? Because you had to get a castle to get those units up as well. And you've got to know you're behind in economy, whether it be the score or just, you know, if you have the game knowledge to know how good the humans are at what they do. And unfortunately for our red player, the castle could be denied here. You have the house going down. Everything's falling apart for red. Castle's at 98%, and boom! It actually completes. So, obviously quite painful. You know, they could have gone a little bit better, but castle completes. And, you know, for blue, now you've got a castle on your face to deal with. Now, I think my brain goes to the next human bonus, which is unique to them, and it's Capped Ram and Castle Age. So blue's going to start to make some siege there. And I also really like this play from blue. This is where you really start to see their level, guys. Blue says, okay, I can't really do anything about that. Let's counterattack. Force him to come home. But look at the moves here from red. Red with some house walls and stone walls. A damage control is really what separates different levels in Age of Empires 2. At least that's what I think. And obviously build orders, hotkeys, aggression, all that stuff's good too. And red just trying not to lose villagers. That house, however, it's going to go down. And so villagers are trapped. Red realizes, okay, those are dead. So let's just make a stone wall there and complete this TC. And it's just not pretty, okay? It's not pretty. It's stressful. I know you guys don't come here to be stressed out, and you might be getting a little bit of secondhand stress here. So just don't worry, okay? Red's still got some fight left in him, and it's through these Mamelukes, which, you know, showed earlier that they're pretty good at killing knights. Unfortunately, Red had lost the Mamelukes because of attacking the archer range, but now, you know, Mameluke's gonna chew up the knights. These are knights with full Castle Age upgrades. Now, I can fully understand Blue's predicament because I'll watch my own games back from time to time, and it's easy when you're watching from above and spectating a game to be like, why are you still making that army? Like, why don't you just do this or that, right? But Blue is very much in that state you get in a game, and it's just like, make villagers, make army, and move the army, right? It's those three things. And so I think there's a little bit of confusion for Blue right now, and very much what do I make against this unit thought process for Blue. And this gets really complicated because the Mamelukes wreck the knights, and if there was only one castle for Red, then you could probably go for like skirmishers or archers or something else, and you could force the Mamelukes across the map. But now that there's a castle in your face, you can't really deal with it. So the best thing you can do is precisely what Blue's thinking here, and that's go up to the Imperial Age and try and get a castle. Usually you want to build it like right here, protect this TC. You just want a castle close where you can tread down the Red's castle. That's all. Look at these Mamelukes go. Where do they store their weapons? Is there a bag here I'm missing? Maybe in there? Oh my God, there's one permanently stuck in the back. Yo, I didn't realize there was one strapped in there. Is that not dangerous? What if your Mameluke sat down and then he got stuck because that was stuck in the ground? Anyways, you know, the things we see when we see Mamelukes. Exciting stuff. Red is on the way to the Imperial Age before Blue. 44 economy. Just so far behind. And with resources collected, let me just look. I mean, it's not half the resources collected, but, you know, it's definitely... You know, he's collected, let's say, 2/3 of what the opponent has, which in Age of Empires 2, I mean, normally results in some pretty big problems. That could obviously only get worse, too, because Blue still has more villagers. And Red really focusing on the Mameluke micro, because earlier in the game there were mistakes, but look at these Mamelukes go, guys. Mamelukes are just melting the knights. Now, Blue probably is thinking, since the unique unit that Red is making... Oh, that's painful. Since the unique unit that Red is making costs food and gold, and because Blue's hit so much economy, that Red won't be an imp. And honestly, pretty decent assumption to think that this guy's not going to be an imp, right? So I think part of his thought process is, the second I get to trebuchets, this might be over. Also, it's just very stressful to have to think about making new units. Humans do not get Bracer. They don't really have the best units out of their archer range. But would like to see Blue maybe consider dropping some archer ranges there. Blue is going imp in this TC, which we know to be very risky. Red won't have any indicators that that's the imp TC. And by the way, guys, so you see, this is not the first time Blue's lost villagers here. Villagers in Age of Empires 2, they're stupid. They want to die, okay? Maybe, you know, it's because they're kind of in an act of slavery right now, continuously working for you with no reward. But anytime that they finish a farm, instead of reseeding that farm, they are going to go to a vacant farm, okay? It's not really, you know, a bug, and that's not actually the villagers being stupid. It's actually just being good with your resources. Probably a bad time for me to give this tip, but anyways, make sure that you... I completely forgot Blue resigned there. Make sure that you just delete those farms if you don't want villagers to die. And Blue, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to go back and edit this. Not my best close to a cast. Blue actually just got so stressed and just resigned here, guys. Probably had this feeling of, how do I counter that unit? And how is this person an imp? They've got a forward castle on me. My villagers keep walking to their death. I only make knights and eco with this civ. What do I do? Am I slightly disappointed that Blue didn't play on a little bit longer here? I am, because Blue has the resources. But truthfully, I think, you know, with Red having immediate trebuchet production coming, and the Mamelukes would have been there to protect, I think Blue would lose this castle. I think Blue would lose this TC. There then would be about 40 villagers, which is kind of the villager difference unprotected. And, blue had yet to start switching into other units. I think all the factors I just mentioned are probably why blue pieced out there. What a unique player this red player is. Now, again, it's like every game, we seem to have the same thing. It's just fast castle, but the type of units that red makes is always a little bit different. However, it is always unique to the civilization. And it's like, in Age of Empires 2, how I think what makes the game very approachable is you can kind of do the same thing in the early game with all civs. Like, for example, like the 6 on food, 4 on wood, get a board, that type of build, that kind of works with every civ. That's what makes the game very approachable. And that's what makes, having as the amount of civilizations we do, not as overwhelming, because you can at least get your start down. But like, if you compare civilizations across the board, normally you're saying, okay, what upgrades do you get on your knights? What upgrades do you get in your archers? What siege do you have? What infantry do you have? But there are more unique things. There's the unique unit out of the castle. And then there's like the Spanish missionaries, for example. the Spanish are the only civ that has missionaries. And so I haven't seen every game this player's ever played, but it seems like he always goes for the super unique stuff, right? Like he didn't YOLO with the market. That's not interesting to him. He wants unique units. There was another game I'm not going to end up showing you because it ended up kind of being a wash. But he actually, for example, played Bohemians. And the first thing he did in Castle Age was drop a university, research chemistry, and then make hand cannons. So Red is a player who really loves and celebrates the true, like, deep uniqueness and differences between civilizations. And I'll here for it. I'm excited about it. So I'm not sure what to call this guy, but well done. I mean, I think this game's actually a whole lot easier for Red to win if those initial Mamelukes aren't lost next to the archery range, right? Because, like, blue would have never counterattacked. Blue might have never been able to... Well, yeah, blue would have never really been able to contest this castle, and who knows if those Mamelukes would have denied this one. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, if I try and spend some extra time to sit down and cast something specifically for YouTube, I always try and make it a little bit more special, so I hope it was special. Empire Wars is not something we're going to see feature on the channel that much, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on this player and seeing exactly what he's up to. I'm sure there will be plenty more cool games to show you. To sum up the game, 21 to 19 KD there for Red. Not actually that many kills in this game. Blue did collect about 8,000 more resources. And if speed matters to you guys, there's the speed. But, clearly the player with less economy, just focusing on the Mamelukes all the time. I'm sure Blue was just moving around like a madman trying to, add farms. And there were just less activity with the Knights in general. As always, guys, thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video.